This episode really showed Isagi's thought process and becoming a better version of himself, literally from beginning to end. And to be honest, after watching this episode, I realized this could low-key be like a method that anyone could use when pursuing any endeavor. Like Blue Lock low-key revealed the top secret mentality of a high achiever. So let me show you how they did that.
俺にはバローやナギに追いつくために必要なゴール前へたどり着く。
So first he recognized his issue. He doesn't have a one-on-one weapon that could put him in the same level as Nagi or Bora. So that's basically the first step. Realize what your flaws are. But not only that, the most important part is what he said after that.
探せ。今の俺に足りないものを。
Despite acknowledging his flaws, the most important part was him saying that he has to find what he's lacking during this game. That right there is key to start any process of changing or becoming better at what you do.
1対1で勝つ方法はドリブルだけじゃない。ワンツーで一瞬でも2対1を作ればスピードのない俺でも。
So yeah, first Isagi tried. He basically tried to be slick, let's be honest. Like with his current abilities, you have to remember too, he ain't really the fastest player, the best dribbler or anything like that. So with his capabilities and his thought process so far, the best thing he could have done right here was just to catch someone off guard by changing his movements a little bit. But obviously that didn't work.
もしかしたらただ戦法を行動を変えるだけじゃ俺が欲しい強さを見。
And this is another important thing too, is he's always thinking, like he's always in his head. Even if they're in an intense situation or a dire situation or like pressures on the line, like he's always in his head thinking. Like that's gonna be like the most important part about throughout this whole process, is him always questioning and thinking through every possible way he could break into a better version.
変わるってのは今までの自分を壊すことからしか始まらない。
This is basically step 2 right here. Isagi realized that the only way he could become better, the only way he could see more options for himself with his current capabilities, was to basically forget what you know. Well, not really forget what you know, but he had to change the way he currently thinks about himself or his current play style. And that's probably the hardest part. This probably is the hardest part, if I'm being honest, like, because humans are like creatures of habit, and it's really difficult to break out of any habits you have, especially if you've done it for a long time, and especially if you've been succeeding with the habit. So I would say this is probably the most important part, letting go what you already know to find new possibilities for yourself.
決めてみな、おちびさん。ほら。
You know, it would be very interesting. It would have been so interesting if we got the thought process of this character here too. Like if we got his thought process throughout this episode, this would kind of help show the difference between what he was thinking during the match and what he needed to do to win versus how Isagi was thinking. Because that would have helped show the flaws of how the reason why he wasn't able to adapt and grow, and why Isagi was able to. I mean, they kind of did explain it after the match, but you know, I think if they show his thought process more during the match, it would really help showcase that difference in mentality. By the way, I do know his name. I just don't want to butcher it or anything because I really don't know how to pronounce it, if I'm being real with you.
もしかして成早はいつも俺に見えない視覚を使ったポジショニングで。
And that right there is probably the main reason why I said him thinking throughout the whole match is what really driving and leading him to reach the next step in his thought process of figuring things out. Because without him reflecting on what just happened in the last play and how Noruhaya, I think that's how you say his name, without reflecting how he was able to steal the ball from him and how he positioned himself, he wouldn't have reached the next step, which is realizing
視覚とオフサボール、この新しいパズルを脳にぶち込んで。
Yep, here we go. So I'm talking about in step 2, forget what you know, adapt, be willing to change what has been working for you this whole time.
視覚、オフサボール。
And this is what I called entering the protagonist state. If you know, you know. Hold on real quick. When you see a backstory, when you see a flashback, it only mean two things. It's either that character is about to go crazy, or this is the end of the road for them. It's tough, man. It's just tough.
ダイレクトシュートだ。このゴールで俺は俺の人生を変える。
It'd be like that, man. Let's be real. That was just plot going against him. Plot just decided you're not him, bro. Like, you're just not that guy, man. It's tough being a side character or a background character because you just gotta suffer with these moments, man.
なるはやは今俺の武器ダイレクトシュートをトレースしようとした。
Not only that, seconds later, Isagi is about to turn around, take your skill, take your abilities, and go crazy with it. That's probably the worst part about it. And he has to watch all of that happen right after the embarrassment. Oh my god.
なるはやと俺の武器を融合させることができれば天才たちとも渡り合えるのかもしれない。
Okay, now back to the thought process. I think this is step 4, right? Step 4, learning your flaws and weaknesses from somebody good at that flaw you have. So even though Narukaze is probably considered an average Joe, since he has a skill that Isagi lacks, Isagi was basically able to take advantage of being able to see how Narukaze uses off-ball and blind spots throughout the match and figuring out how to adapt it with his own skills. But to be honest, the difference is what Isagi is about to do is not just emulating. Alright, here comes the exciting part. So, first things first, right? Isagi knows that his best skill is vision, being able to scout out through the field and kind of see the plays that are happening. But one thing he realized, especially from this moment, is he's only been tracking down where the ball is this whole time and not where the other players around the fields are. Yo, just to be thinking all of that while running, while also like having to execute everything like seconds later, that's ridiculous, bro. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Isagi, like, he cooked him. He really, oh my god, yo. This is like the best scene like of Isagi so far in the show. Like, he really cooked the king, bro. That man's sidestep, stutter step, hesitation move, zigzag, had him turn around on his, like, this man got him on his back. Back towards the goal. That man really took his ankles, bro. Yeah, man, he really did him dirty, bro. The moment he realized he did his footwork better than him, that's tough. And now at this point, it's really just him combining what he just learned with what he specialized with already. Because he already specialized in keeping track of the ball and knowing where it is or where it's going at all times. Now he has to bring all the pieces together of what he already knew before to what he just learned now. And the result is this beautiful epic moment right here. Cause you're not him, bro. You're not the main character. You're no longer like a side character or anything. You're gonna be a forgotten character. I'm sorry, bro. You're like one of those characters that are just there to help the main character become better. You know, you're kind of like a tool, like an obstacle that was needed to help train up the main character. You know, hey, no hard feelings though, but it's just how it goes. It's just the harsh reality of being part of a story.
俺にはお前のダイレクトシュートっていう武器が必要だった。
And that was his main issue, right? He stated that he needed Isagi's direct shot. All he was able to do is copy what he've seen Isagi do with his capabilities and not with his own. Like, that's the one thing that's hard to understand. The way you see someone else do it doesn't mean it's the exact same way that you should do it. And that's probably his biggest flaw, was trying to do it the same way as Isagi. Because doing a direct shot like Isagi is not the only way. It's not the only way to kick the ball to get a goal. Like, we've seen other characters have multiple different ways they kick the ball, and he just happened to chose the wrong one. You know, the direct shot is just not the shot meant for his capabilities.
それはきっとお前が変わることを恐れないからだ。
That's the number one thing right there, not being afraid to change. If you forget everything else in this video, then just remember, don't be afraid to change. Because without that, then everything else is basically useless. But yeah, man, that's it. That's kind of the breakdown of Isagi, the difference in mentality, why Isagi is an inspiration and what you could learn from him from this episode. Literally, this episode showed his thought process from beginning to end. When he first realized his flaws to when he broke through and figured out new possibilities for himself. It really showed Isagi's true strength, in which Norihaya said it best.
お前は適応能力の天才だ。